What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Alright, so the news just does not stop because we just went back to back with some big news, but now we lost a couple of referees. Prime?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you already know about this.
Oh, I mean, I was waiting on you to say the names.
Oh yeah, So we lost a pair of referees. We lost Dave Hebner, who was the twin of Earl Hebner.
How much money did they pay your brother?
Yeah, I'm saying, how much was the plastic surgery? And Tim White. So, for those who don't know, I'll start with Dave Hebner. Dave Hebner was the twin to Earl Hebner. Now, if you guys, like I said, I remember Dave Hebner. I remember the whole $1 Million Man paying off paying off. The
$1 Million Man paying off Ted DiBiase.
I messed that up. The $1 Million Man paying off, Dave Hebner, or was it Earl Hebner? Because I forgot which Hebner it was that he paid off and stuff like that. Because to screw over Hulk Hogan for his first time losing the championship in 4 years against Andre the Giant. So that was the big storyline. And you can always tell the difference between Dave and Earl Hebner. Now, of course, if you go up and answer there, you remember Earl Hebner because Earl Hebner had a fucking storyline.
Earl Hebner was the referee of the 90s.
Of the late 90s in that action. Remember the whole Hebner right? The kids like, you're Hebner right? And it was a whole storyline. But Dave spent time.
Either Earl Hebner or Nate, Lil Nate.
Exactly. Well, Lil Nate was WCW first. That was Ric Flair's referee.
Yeah,
Charles
exactly.
Robinson.
He was still in the 90s in the Attitude Era.
Yeah. And he did some time over at Impact Wrestling. And then there hasn't been news that he hasn't been doing too well. And then they took a picture of Dave Hebner at his house, and he looked bad. He looked really bad, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry that this has happened to this man." But he passed away at the age of 73. So he wasn't in the referee stuff as long as Earl was, because he did some behind the scenes stuff and producing and stuff like that, other than just being a referee. But like I said, it wasn't a thing where I could never tell him a difference because he was obviously the more heavier one than Earl Hebner was. But honestly, his claim to fame was
basically the one that knew he was going to retire early.
Yes, that's not right. But definitely he was the one where that whole story, that double referee. How much did the plastic surgery cost?
How much was the plastic surgery, brother? How much was it? How much did he pay?
Every time Hogan lost, he was crying like a little bitch.
Every time, man. Every time he lost, he either got in the way of your celebration or he complained.
All the time. It's like, I'm sitting
when
looking at Hogan like, really?
When Flair won the Rumble, he was like, he cheated. It's a Rumble. How can you cheat in the Rumble? and let somebody get out and come back in and then throw you out. You just got thrown over the rope. Like, how can you cheat?
It's actually when it's a match with no disqualifications.
Yeah. He cheated, brother. Psycho said cheated. Come on.
Never made no sense to me at all. Never made no sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's he passed away, and that was unfortunate. Like I said, I know too much about Dave Hebner other than the twin, but Tim White, I knew.
Real quick though. He did pass away, and see, I personally wouldn't have did this, but they had on Impact Slammiversary spoilers. They had Earl Hebner there.
Oh, okay.
Earl and his son. His son is referee too. Mike Hebner. His son is a long-time referee for Impact. And they both were there. They both were just Earl Hebner was refereeing, and then they kind of at the end pointed up to Dave, like, this is for Dave or whatever. But I thought it was kind of too soon. Like, the brother died yesterday. You got to want to show the day. I'm like, come on, man. But hey,
if Earl volunteered to go, can't get mad if him volunteering to go. If he did, and they kind of like Brian Pillman, Brian Pillman's wife, who by the way passed away this year also. I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say if they did one of them, like, hey, you gotta show up tonight. That's.
It was fun. It wasn't funny, but like on Brian Pillman's Jr. On this whatever post, he was like, "Well, this day has come. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked, but I knew it would come, and I'm surprised it didn't come sooner." So, yeah, sorry, Mom. Rest in peace. And that was all he said.
Damn.
Like, hey, this day could have came sooner, but it came today. So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm out.
Mic drop. Well, also, Tim White was a referee. He was very popular in the Attitude Era in the 90s also because now...
He had to retire early as well.
Huh?
He had to retire early as well.
He had to retire early, so we'll get to that because Tim White was known as a referee because my sister, when we used to watch wrestling, she will always know, like, Tim White will always do the Godfather's matches because he will always love the hoes dancing with him.
Of course.
After the Godfather's matches, and then
he was the head ref. So like every time they had a cat fight and they had to like roll over, he would be the one in there. He will always be on the women's stuff. So every time you would see Tim White in the ring, it's a women's match, like a cat fight women's match, not like a Sable match. Or it will be a Godfather coming in with the whole train because afterwards the hoes will be all rubbing up on him and everything. He would have a good old time. So that was in the documentary. I forgot which one. It was like, how come he got all the women match? They was like, well, he was the head referee, so he was telling which referees get the code where.
Exactly. But then Judgment Day of 2002. A forgotten Hell in a Cell match. Believe it or not, a lot of people forget about this Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, because the ending.
Yeah, was Chris Jericho versus Triple H, and I thought they had a good matchup. But once again, it's like if you talk about your top Hell in a Cell matches, you automatically pass over this one. So I think all the the early 2000 Triple H Hell in a Cell matches you pass over. He had 3 back-to-back year Hell in a Cell matches that are honest with you are forgettable.
Yep, sounds about right.
Except for like from 2000. If we start from 2000 to 2005, he's had 4 out of 4 Hell in a Cell matches out of 5 years.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And it was the one with him and Cactus in 2000. Him and Jericho in 2002.
Him and Nash.
Him and Nash is terrible. Him and Nash in 03. And then him and HBK in 04.
Mm-hmm. And then Batista.
And then him and Batista in 05.
Yep.
Okay, so 5 of them 6 years. Yeah, so however you want to put it. And it was just like, he missed 01 because he was injured. And I'm just like, him and Cactus and him and Batista were the best ones. Him and Shawn Michaels was fine, but that shit went way too long. Like, I don't want to watch an hour Hell in a Cell match. That shit went way too long. Nash is self-explanatory, and Tim with Jericho, like you said, the finish. But what happened was, Tim White was on the apron, and they did like an Irish strip kind of bump off the apron. He was supposed to, fly the apron, hit the cage. Well, he got hit all right, and he flung over and hit the cage and fell down, and he legit got like injured. I don't know if it was like a dislocation or.
I think he hit the actual hard steel part of the cage, not like the, what do you call it? Like the actual cage part, but the
mesh?
actual. Yeah, no, he didn't hit the mesh. He hit the actual like I don't know what you call it though. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like
the part in the middle, not the mesh.
Oh, yeah,
like steel part.
Yeah, like the steel beam or the structure part. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually hit that, and then he was out. And then even though he was down, I don't know if Jericho didn't know he was down or not. Jericho came and beat him up some more. I think he like dropped the elbow on him or something.
Yeah, it was like really messing. Like he really got injured to the point like he had some surgery.
He couldn't finish the match.
Yeah, it was like I was like, damn. It reminded me of one of them WoW referees. You remember the referees they used to have that would take all the bumps for the women?
Mm-hmm.
Especially the big ass cage. I was like, these dudes is flying off top of the cell through tables for the. I'm like, y'all gotta stop. But anyway, so then he was obviously down. So then he started coming up with these segments, which was like, obviously they would not fly today. But he was depressed about not being a referee because of his injury, and he was trying to off himself. The lunchtime suicides with Tim White. And it was like at the RGF review, he was sitting there, and then all of a sudden it became like the first episode. It seemed like it tried to be like serious, and how the hell himself ruined his life and everything, and then he was he took a gun and he was going to kill himself, and I was like, damn, that was kind of deep. But then after a while, they started making a joke out of it.
Just like Hulk.
Yeah. And I was just like, cause at first, like that very first episode, he was in the bar, he was drinking, and he took the gun. I was like, I'm gonna shoot myself. I was like, wow, that's even me in 2005 was like, that's deep. Like I don't, cause WWE has been deep before in some of the storylines, but anytime you are banking on suicide, especially if you don't put one of disclaimers up at the beginning, you touching a very dangerous area. Like the same thing with Hulk, and I was just like, that wasn't needed, But then it was like, oh guys, he really gonna kill himself? Because like, what the fuck is going on? And then it was like, oh, he just shot himself in the foot. But then he was just like, then he started doing like the rat poison. That he tried to get hit by a car, and then put the toaster in the bathtub, and all the hanging himself, like all the suicide cliches that people would do to themselves is what he was doing. And look, yes, I laughed at it. I mean, that shit would not fly today. Honestly, we're surprised that shit flew back then. But I doubt the UPN gave a shit at what was going on Smackdown. I believe that's where they was at. I don't know if this was they was on UPN while they was on Spike TV on Monday, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, so that's how it was. And it was just like, but that's what one of the things that he was really known for. And just recently, I don't know what it was, but he just passed away at the age of 68. So, 68 is not really that old. And he, like I said, he was like one of the most popular referees of the 90s at that time. Like just him being the head referee, stuff like that. So I was just like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, but obviously he's been going away for so long that sometimes you forget.
Exactly. I mean, certain superstars obviously paid tribute and gave their thoughts, like from Shawn and Big E. People who knew him over the years, some of that it was very heartfelt stuff. I know your boy Hogan will get up there eventually and say something.
Let me see if he said something already. Actually,
what you say?
Let me see if he wrote something.
Yeah, he probably did. He talk about the clanging and banging. No, I'm playing. He didn't do all that. He didn't do all that, but yeah.
Nope, nothing.
Yeah, so there you have it. So I just wanted to make sure I acknowledged them.
The last.
Oh shit! You found something.
No. The last thing he said was about his girlfriend and his wife. That's the last thing that he posted.
Oh, okay.
The one where he was like, "I thought everybody knew she was my girlfriend, brother." But yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no. So I want to make sure we get that out the way. May both to rest in peace. My condolences to both their families. Two legends in the referee game, because we really don't hear much about referees and when they go, but these were among the more popular referees, along with, like I said, Charles Robertson, along with Mike Chioda.
Yeah,
those referees.
Nick Patrick.
Nick Patrick, those kind of referees that come to mind, and then so.
I mean, John Cone is a newer one, but he probably don't.
And of course, we got the two women's, was the black one and the white one. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black one's married to Leon Ruff, and the other one was, yeah. So, May they rest in peace. I wanted to make sure I get that out.